What's going on, Archivists? It's your boy Varni, and today I've got a gameplay video for y'all. I asked y'all on the YouTube post as well as on Reddit which of 4 decks that you would like to see gameplay for. Most of the sentiment was we want to see them all, and for what it's worth, the poll results, I mean, it was mostly Ciel, so obviously today we're doing Ciel, but there was a lot of sentiment wanting to see some other decks, so this is basically one of 4 gameplay videos that I'll be doing, but you'll be seeing this one first because it was the most popular one. Now, I'm not the one piloting the deck. This is my opponent, Pasta, who I played on July 31st in the Yeti online webcam locals, where I ended up taking 3rd in the event, going 3-1. I beat Pasta on stream 2-0, but it was a very hard-fought match. We learned a lot. We made some misplays, but that's what the game is all about, right? Now, one thing about this deck that you should know before you watch the gameplay is that his deck was not entirely finished. He was missing some cards. He wanted to play some more copies of Mad Tea Party and a couple other cards that he was waiting in the mail for, but he decided to just jump in, play and test the deck just like we all were. I think I was missing maybe like 2 liminals and I only had the 1 Cheshire Cat. So, you know, we were all just testing. This was an unranked event. Super nice if you guys want to join the Yeti online webcam locals. It is a fun time. It is every Thursday at 7 p.m. You can find the link to both the deck list and the event in the description down below. I will also drop a link to the Discord so that if you guys are interested, you'll have that. Feel free to hop in and check it out. They're a super cool crew. They stream the event whenever they can, and it's honestly a blast. I enjoy playing in it. For me, on East Coast, it goes late. You know, I was playing until like 1 a.m., but it is what it is. You know, we love playing Grand Archive. So if you guys like this video, I'm sorry. I gotta hit you with it. I know some of you hate it, but it is what it is. We're playing a YouTube game. Drop a like, drop a comment letting me know what you thought about this deck, and also subscribe so that you know when future videos come out. But let's hop into it. So we start out with the Spirit of Fire. It's your typical turn 1 fire shenanigans. We're gonna pay 3 for, guess what? A creative shock. It's creatively shocking. And guess what we're gonna trash? It's a Stalwart Shieldmate. It never fails. It does fail a lot. It actually does. But we do luckily see the turn 1 play creative into Stalwart, so that next turn we can just go Lorraine 1, get our inert sword, and do shenanigans. For his turn 1, he's on Spirit of Fire. Didn't know he was playing Ciel at this point, so I'm basically approaching this match with caution, as I do every match. He's going to play a Mad Tea Party, which is going to be the bane of my existence for this match, just because I can't read cards, apparently, and I can't remember what my opponent's cards do. So I'm going to go into Lorraine 1. I pay my 2 for my inert, and then I recollect, and I draw. Now, I'm not going to swing into the Stalwart Shieldmate because there's just no reason to. Why give him a free level up? Why try to get rid of this early? I could also just try to get rid of this next turn with my Lorraine 2 if I so chose, but I'm not going to do that. Spoiler, I go get Clarent my next turn because I always get Clarent. I end up passing turn on the Rile the Abyss, put some more float and trash. We were really good for value in this match. We were really good for value. He's just going to get a GCR, then play the Library Witch, and he's going to cremate the Library Witch. So it's going to draw him a total of 3 cards. Beautiful play there. Beautiful play. He passes. Like I said, I could have gone into Lorraine too, but I like getting my Clarent because again, I didn't know he was playing Ciel, and I just want to make sure that I'm protected at all costs. Plus, it's not like Clarent doesn't help my overall game plan, which is get Swords and Banishment for Lorraine Crux Knight. So if I can wait, take a turn off, and get my Clarent, and just have that sort of like fallback that protects me from a lot, to be honest, you know, it's never a bad thing. So guess what I see? It's another Rile the Abyss, but this time I only have 1 thing to discard, but it is a Liminal Guide, which I believe I might have drawn into that off the creative shock as well, which is probably another reason why I didn't go into Lorraine 2, because I'm a fire player and I'm greedy and I want to get max value for everything. So I decided to just hold off a turn, try to get my Liminal and trash, so when I do level up, I'm just getting major advantage between a body on board, a free card draw, and, you know, using the float, massive value. He goes into CL1. He does have to banish a card from his memory, which is great for me. You know, I don't mind. It's a good thing I didn't give him the Stalwart early, because then that would have just been a free level up, but he has to banish a card, and I'm totally fine with that. Now for me, I'm going to go into Lorraine 2, banishing my 2 float, get out my Liminal, it becomes ephemeral, and yeah, now is where it starts snowballing, baby. Look at all those cards in hand. We're set up beautifully. In my recollection step, though, he drops a Flame Sorcel, which is going to basically kind of do a creative shock for him. It's draw a card, then discard a card, and then if the reserve cost of the discarded card is equal to the reserve cost of another one of your omens, you get to draw another card. So it's sort of like an in-archetype creative shock. We drop the DG to go into Crux Knight. Reason I do this is because the reason I did this in the specific way that I did it, instead of waiting to my next turn, was because I just wanted to drop the Ghost on this turn and really apply some heavy pressure. So, I mean, it did its job, right? We're up to what? A total of 9 influence. We bounce the Looking Glass back. We get a Ghost on board and we basically say, yeah, buddy, you got to deal with this, because if you don't deal with this, it's gonna snowball. Now he does an increasing danger, and I mean, I'm totally fine with an increasing danger because now we're up to 10 total influenced. And then he passes turn, and I'm like, all right, yeah, it's going good for us. Now we have a float. We decide to get rid of one float and draw a card, get our Drawn Blade out. Oh, we do have a misplay coming up here, though. I do a Reckoning's Wake pre-rec, but I don't have a Looking Glass on field. So keep that in mind. I can only play Reckoning's Wake because it is a distortion, and while I have Looking Glass on field, it ignores the elemental requirements. But because I don't have the Looking Glass currently, that was an illegal play. So a judge does come in to correct us, and we basically rewind game state to before I did the Reckoning's Wake, and I shuffled the cards that I looked at back to the top of my deck, and then drew into one of them for turn. So now that we have rewounded the game state to what it was prior, the Drawn Blade is broken. This is the middle of combat, however, so what we are going to do is we are going to Spirit Blade Ascension, bounce our inert sword back, and get out the Prismatic Edge, and we're just going to deal massive damage once again. And I'm just going to flicker Prismatic, essentially, is what this is going to happen, because for some ungodly reason, I drew into 4 Spirit Blade Ascensions. Some were chilling in hand very early on. So we just keep our memories revealed, because I'm just going to do it 4 times. I told my opponent this is what was going to happen, just to keep his memory revealed if he didn't have a response, and he didn't. On the 3rd Spirit Blade, he is going to Restorative Flame, which is going to banish up to three, I should say, fire cards. And for each one banished, he gets to heal 2 for each card banished, which is really cool. So even though it was a 12 damage Ascension Prismatic Flicker, I only ended up doing basically 6 off of it, but the attack did connect. I got another Sword and Banishment. So now it goes over to our opponent. He is going to level up into Ciel 3, banishing 3 cards from his memory, which he has to do because he has no float. And I mean, he gets some pretty decent banishes. You know, it's probably not like he needed the Library Witch, but now he's going to pre-rec Umbra Sight. Umbra Sight does allow him to draw a card into memory. If he does, he takes 2 unpreventable damage for each curse in his lineage. So he only does that on 1 Umbra Sight, so he takes the 2 unpreventable, and now Umbra's chilling in his lineage as a curse. He then drops the Siphoning Fractal, a Library Witch, and then he's going to drop a Carter. So Carter on enter, he may sacrifice another ally he controls. If he does, Carter gets +2 power until the end of turn, which is pretty freaking good because now it's going to come in on Cleave because it's a class bonus for Guardian. So he's going to cleave my entire board. And Carter says whenever an ally dies, he recovers 1. One thing to note is that Liminal Guide, because it was ephemeral, it doesn't die. Ephemeral sends it straight to banishment when it leaves play. So he doesn't heal 3 with the Carter. He only heals 2. But here's the big wombo combo, right? So he dropped the Library Witch, he dropped the Carter, he recovers 2 because of the Mad Tea Party. And then Carter cleaves the board, or I should say the Library Witch dies first, and Carter recovers 1 for that. But also the Siphoning Fractal recovers 1 for him and deals 1 to me. And then Carter cleaves my board and kills 2 of my units, which deals me 2 damage off the Siphoning Fractal and heals him 4. So all that damage I was doing off a Spirit Blade earlier was kind of for naught. Now, I don't think it was a bad play to do necessarily. Probably would have been better to keep for later in the game, but I didn't really know, like, you know, what was what, obviously. So I just kind of did whatever. But that probably would have been better to keep for later in the game just so that I could apply some later pressure to him. But I think that early pressure is what forced him to level up into level 3. So, you know, it can be 6 dozen one way, half dozen another. I ended up doing a flame sweep here, I believe with 4 swords in banishment, and I'm swinging with the prismatic. So this comes in for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's 3 swords in banishment. So it comes in for 8 damage on a cleave, which is really nice because I get to get rid of the Carter and I get to deal damage to his champion. But Siphoning Fractal still being a thorn in my side because the Carter dies, he gets to recover 1 and deal me 1. So that's something I have to keep in mind. Luckily, it doesn't go on for too much longer after this. I don't have to worry about it. But if you had multiple Siphoning Fractals with the Carter on board, that would have been really tough. That would have been really tough. So now he gets the Mansome Armoire. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. And he returns the Umbra Sight, banishes the Peppered Chef, which he's now going to do the Umbra Sight for free, get the card draw, and he's going to not trigger its second ability because he would take 4 unpreventable at that point because of the other Umbra Sight chilling in his lineage. So now he drops an Umbra Chevalier, which is on enter. He gets to return one of his banished card or one of his omens from banished to hand, and if he does, he gets to then put 1 in. So he's going to return to Peppered Chef. Umbra Chevalier comes in for 3 damage. Sorry. And then he's going to drop the Peppered Chef after this. Sack the Umbra Chevalier, which is going to give it +2 attack, +2 power. Sorry, I play too many card games. It's all these different terminology. And come in for 4. Now, if he had something like the Baleful Oblation or the Heavy Swing here, yeah, I definitely would have been dead. Luckily, he did not. And he ends up passing turn. And now I'm like, all right, cool. I got to kill right now because if I don't, I die next turn. It doesn't matter what, I die next turn. So I get the Votive Runeblade, banishing our Floating Memory. And this is where my Wombo combo comes in. Now, I'm not playing in Soul. I don't know if you probably can't tell because, a lot of the deck's core is the same as in Soul. But I like the idea of in Soul. But you know what I like better? I like that card on field, Clarent Reimagined. So I'm just playing a sort of like heavy damage dealing Crux Knight list. And my win con, one of my 2 win cons is basically get into level 3 and deal heavy damage, either with Devastating Blow or with Votive Runeblade Honed by Fire. So what I'm going to do here is declare the attack with Votive Runeblade, sack the Clarent to wake up Lorraine. I'm going to double Honed by Fire. So this gives it +4 power. And then I believe I have 4 swords in banishment. So I'm coming in for a total of 10 damage. And then I'm going to swing again for another 10 damage. And he didn't have any heal. He didn't have any resolute. So good. I basically get to close out that first game. So now going into game 2, obviously, he chooses to go first because he is a fire player. And fire players, we always choose to go first, right? Now he's going to Increasing Danger here, which is actually like really goated turn 1 play for him in a way, because I don't get a recollection phase on my first turn, which I realized like what that actually meant, when he did that. I was like, oh, like that's good. He gets the extra card immediately, but I don't, not until my next turn. So in a way, he's sort of like a half turn ahead, but it's fine because guess what we have in hand? Rile the Abyss. We're going to draw a card, and then guess what? We're going to trash 2 more Floating Memory for more card draw because we're busted. I wish I had those hands all the time, to be honest. We pass turn. He ends up paying 1 to just go into his Ciel level 1. Probably just learned from the last time with me not dealing with his Stalwart until I was in a position to deal with it. So just does that and then banishes his Increasing Danger from grave at the end of turn for Omen. Now coming to me, obviously I go into Lorraine 1, get my Inert Sword, do the thing. I play my Reckoning's Wake, but in response to my Reckoning's Wake, he is going to destroy my Inert Sword with a Rapid Combustion, which is fine, like it does hurt a bit, but I also want more swords in my banishment, so it ends up working out at the end of the day. I still get to rake the top of my deck. Only 4 instead of 5 cards because the Inert Sword is gone, but it is what it is. We got Rile the Abyss. We're still goated, you know what I mean? Now, unfortunately, I don't have a liminal guide to trash here, so we're just going to trash the Paramour and the Evercurrent Raider. But one play I really like about this iteration of the deck is I have the Incinerated Templar, which brings out the Paramour. So it's going to deal 2 damage as a spell because it is ephemeral. And then it's going to swing for 2 damage. And then Incinerated Templar is going to swing for another 2 damage. So that was a simple sort of 6 cost, 6 damage play in a way that accelerated my game plan, dealt him some damage, and, just kind of put me in a better position. The Paramour goes away at the end of turn because it does get banished. by Templar's effect, and it's ephemeral, so you know it just goes straight to banishment. He's going to drop his own Paramour, just hard drop, swing straight into Templar just to remove it, which, you know, totally fine with. And he's going to banish another card from his grave for his Omen. I'm greedy, so I don't go into my Lorraine 2 just yet. I go get my Clearance, and I'm going to drop a Hasty because it's only at 1 health here, and get to just swing into that Paramour for free. So now it goes over to him. He goes into CL2. CL2 has a great on-enter that for each Omen you have, you discard a card from your hand or memory and then draw a card into your memory. I thought he was activating these cards, so I thought he activated Creative Shock. I thought he activated this Increasing Danger, which is why I went to draw a card into my memory. Didn't realize he wasn't activating the card. It was just the CL2 effect that he was activating. So just keep an eye out for that. You know, don't make the mistakes that I do. This is all a learning experience. So good. This is good. We're watching gameplay back. You know what I mean? So now we're just going to go into Lorraine 2. I definitely would have done this a turn earlier because I would have gotten a free card draw off of killing the Paramour. So, you know, lessons were learned for sure, but I still get to take a 3 damage swing at CL, which is, you know, fine. And now one of my favorite cards of DTR. I have a lot of favorite cards from DTR, but one of my like absolute favorites, I would love to play a deck centered around this card, is Cheshire Cat. It comes in, unfortunately, because he destroyed the Inert Sword earlier, I don't get the attack buff. So it's just a 1/3 instead of what it could have been a 3/3. But because it has Stealth and Spell Shroud, it is extremely hard to deal with unless you basically cleave it or have something with True Sight. And even with True Sight, it's still a 3 or a 1/3. So it's just a little harasser. And I love that card, man. Love that card. So now here's a misplay on my part. I go into Lorraine 3, but I only banish 2 float. And I don't know why I only banished 2 float. I guess I thought I was going into Lorraine 2 for whatever reason, but I should have banished a card from my memory. So that's another thing for you guys to keep an eye on throughout your tournament. Make sure your opponent's paying all the memory and reserve costs that they should be paying. So don't be like me. You know, I got to be more diligent about this stuff as well. But we drop the Ghost of Pen here. It's going to bounce Looking Glass back. And we're gonna swing for 3 damage. You know, we would have put a total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage to CL, but he decides to Resolute Stand here like later than I would personally if I had that card in hand, especially with all the cards that I had up. Like I went into Lorraine 3 and I had all those cards in hand. I would have just dropped the Resolute Stand on the first on like the Hasty Messenger, because now I wouldn't have swung with the Cheshire. I still would have dropped the Ghost probably, but you know, you took 2 damage when you kind of didn't need to. Now he does do a double Umbra Sight play here. So he deals 2 and then he deals 4. So he takes a total of 6 damage from the double Umbra Sight. And I'm sure that's because he needed to draw into cards he was trying to pull into. And he ends up, you know, finding the Library Witch into the Carter, which is going to get him a card draw and some heal. So now it comes over to me for opportunity, and I'm debating how I want to deal with Carter because I can't let Carter stick on field. So I'm going to remove a durability counter from my Clarent because, you know, why not? He's got Paramour and Trash. I'm going to end up ascensioning this Clarent back to get out Prismatic. So I might as well just remove a durability counter if I can, just to, you know, protect from anything that could come through. So now Prismatic comes out. Prismatic ends up resolving. I reveal it's fire, and I'm going to take out the Carter. Now, Carter's on enter still hit the stack, so it's going to resolve. He gets to sack the Library Witch to get the card draw. But at least Carter isn't on board, and I don't have to worry about my board getting cleaved. So now the turn comes back over to me. I got my 1 float there, and we're going to get the Vote of Runeblade because we're going for kill this turn. I have no damage, but, you know, I might as well try to close it out. He obviously dropped the, what's it called? Resolute Stand on me last time. He does a Restorative Flame to heal 6, but it's fine. We're going to try to power through it. Only have 1 Honed by Fire this time, but, you know, again, it's fine. If he's got the Resolute Stand, it is what it is. But if he doesn't, you know, this is game. So I represent a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. I think like 14, 17 damage on board. 5 from my allies. I'm going to swing with Lorraine, sack my sword. I now have 4 swords in banishment. So 4 plus the bonus from Honed by Fire and Voto's base is 7. And then swing for another 7 with Crux Knight. So I absolutely love Vote of Runeblade, and I especially love it in Crux Knight. And that's it for today's gameplay video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked it, please do drop a like, drop a comment letting me know, what did you think about the deck? Does Ciel look cool? Because Ciel does look really fun. I love the idea of a 30 health Guardian with access to Umbra. I think Umbra's one of the cooler advanced elements. My personal favorites are Crux, because, you know, I'm a Crux player, but also Umbra. There's just something like really interesting about it. And also subscribe so that you know when future videos come out, because we've got more gameplay videos lined up. I've got 3 more in the works. Plus, obviously I'm playing a game, so I'm recording these webcam locals and you guys will see them. That is it for today's gameplay video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.